when they announced the yellow light. I was like, oh man, I know they're gonna run this, and I just had like kind of like an elevated heartbeat all day that was just bothering me. Like I couldn't seem to settle, and I'm usually so mellow, and like during a session, before a session, I'm not feeling like that. That's not how I am. But yeah, that day I eventually went and trained in the afternoon and kind of ran it off, but it was just exhausting. So I think tonight I really need like a good night's sleep to try to recover from everything. Just get settled over there, sleep, and wake up and do my thing, because this is what I already do, you know? I'm not trying to become a big wave surfer, I already am one. Just the world is waking up late, so hi, welcome.
It was small. Everyone was like, oh, it's so playful out here, and I'm just like, okay.
Oh my god, that's literally humongous. Little nerves. This is like the back half of Tori Meister's board, and thank goodness, because I'm taking his hits.
Emi Erickson on that unique throwback equipment single fin.
For me, it's like more mental than it is physical. So I think the stuff that I do leading up to jaws out of the water is more important than like being in the water and just making sure I'm in the right headspace.
Come on!
I'm seeing black right now.
Get one, get! Everyone acts like it's a new thing. There were women doing it before, not many. There's women doing it now, not many. Everyone focuses on a divide of genders for some reason.
All right, time to go smoke some fools. I'm stoked, but I'm like disappointed because I'm like, I know I can do better.
Last year, I asked like a few people's opinions of me riding the single fin, and everyone was like, oh, you're gonna eat shit and die.
Like, it's always intimidating being with guys like that because you're like, oh, they're not scared, like they're just gonna send it. But if you're human, like you're scared.
To paddle out off the beach, to put yourself into, say, 60-foot waves with a 10-foot piece of fiberglass, and to position yourself in that lineup and to catch a wave and kick out the channel, I think is probably one of the gnarliest things you could ever do in the ocean.
I feel like when I'm on, I'm very present, I'm sharp, it's a big day, there's high consequences. You're so nervous, but strangely, I feel more comfortable in my own skin when I'm like that.
You just love it, man. It's part of your DNA.
It's time, money, and risk with very little potential of a financial payoff at the end of it. So it has to be something you love. If people aren't really into it, they don't last.
Hi, Mahina. How are you?
I love your shirt.
Thanks. My friend made it. This girl, Anna, in Mexico. Yeah, she's crazy. Inspirational. I think I've been working here for like 9 years or something. Kind of on and off, like, because I have so many other jobs all the time and just kind of juggle everything. Okay. Some fresh flowers for you guys. Do you know the trick with these? You know the trick?
I learned that for my wedding. Someone's like, squeeze them and
Oh.
it'll make everything smell
I'll
better.
smell this. Because they don't usually smell like anything. Isn't it good?
Ooh, I like
It's
those.
subtle, but it's like... You know, I surf big waves because I literally just love it. For my own personal reasons, surfing was a way to work through a lot of things. Surfing was a way to work through things I had experienced in childhood that were traumatic. It was a way to focus my energy on something that I connected with. It's kind of this crazy like paradox I've been living for a long time. Like surf big waves, you know, be totally committed to this passion that takes up so much time and energy, and yet come and work like normal people jobs. And I love having a simple life, and I love working here because it reminds me, it brings me back to that, like the simplicity of life.
Could they
Their
sponsor
lives.
you, Celestial?
I don't know. So tell Carter. He's known me for since I was born.
You should tell him. You say, hey, I'll put your thing on my board if you give me, you know.
Free groceries so I can actually have a paycheck?
Yeah. Talk about it.
I work really hard for my living, and that's how I support myself, to buy surfboards, to plane tickets, to managing injuries. It would be nice to win something. It would open a lot of opportunities for me, open up a lot of doors, make things a lot easier. I could rest a lot more instead of just running myself ragged. The opportunity is more what I think about. When I think about the promise of money, money isn't promised. Injury is way more promised than money.
The first time I foiled was probably like almost 3 years ago now. And hi! Are you guys going winging? Those are my friends. Izzy's really cool, but like, I got my boardwalk down for me. Yeah, I don't
Carry my board anymore.
I don't have a caddy yet. I'm not Paige Alms level.
I was your caddy earlier.
What's up, guys? We're out here at Sugar Cove doing it big. We're back with the vlog. Gonna get in a late foil sesh right before dark, golden hour. Hashtag selfie light. I feel like I was so focused on stand-up that I almost stopped surfing completely. And then my brother was kind of giving me crap, being like, you need to get back on a surfboard. Competitively, I've accomplished everything I set out to and everything I possibly can. So it's really hard when you're like at the very top of the sport and there's like really no one pushing you to like keep that fire. I almost made that decision a couple years ago to kind of slowly make my exit. So 2020 is my year of just taking some time off from stand-up, and I think it's appropriate because I just won my 5th title, and that's kind of a good way to go out, I guess. My goal is just to get comfortable in bigger surf. I look at all these girls and like what they're doing. It's like inspiring, and I just want to go and push myself to get better. I'm such a strong believer in like following your passion, because I could still do it for the money and get all these titles, but at the end of the day, if I'm not happy doing it, like I don't want to do it. Most people my age, when they move away to go to college, and they're like switching majors and like they don't really know what they're doing, but that's like what motivates me to get out of bed every day, is like Jaws is around the corner, and like I have an intention of like why I want to be here, and even if it's just like out at smaller days at Jaws, just taking baby steps, I think for me that's like the smartest way to do it.
I don't know if you could give like a linear timeline on how long it would take for somebody to become a big wave surfer, because it's really about exposure. Even if you've been doing it for 10 years, if you wanted to fast track this and you're in good shape and you have the mental attitude to be able to do this, if you go chasing swells around the world for 1 year, you'll get more experience than the person who's done it for 10 years.
You know, I think experience more than anything counts for a lot, and just putting yourself in, you know, those scary positions and training, and you know, going to all around the world to the different big waves and all that sort of stuff.
I'm not gonna try to figure out what's in somebody else's head or their motivations, because that's what people would do to me when I was younger. Like, what are you doing this for? I'm like, I f***ing like it. F*** off. You know?
You know, someone can go out and be crazy and have no trouble hucking themselves over a 60-foot wave. Talent level mightn't be that great, but they're willing to do it, you know? So I think your mental capacity can outweigh what your ability is, you know? But if you've got both, then you're killing it.
It's hard for me to deal with like people's expectations of what it is even to be like a female big wave surfer. I think that's kind of been an issue in my mind lately. Like, what's acceptable? What's sponsorable? What's gonna win? What's the thing? Are you fighting enough against the men? like for your female cause. I think there's a lot of different ways to go about being a strong individual, and one of the best ways that I really resonate with is to not see so many boundaries with it by just showing up and surfing, you know, being there, being friends with more women who want to take steps to do powerful things in their lives. You can tell it's a girl, right? Most people don't know. This was the bay years ago. It was my 25th birthday actually when this came out, and I was in South Africa with Derek Hind. Derek knows my dad pretty well from over the years. Most people know about my dad, and he was a waterman and lifeguard and the Eddie and all this, and they say, oh, it's in your blood, it was in your blood, like this is what you're supposed to do.
Our third woman competitor, a handful of us used to lifeguard with her daddy Roger. I'm so excited to see the next generation carrying on. You're making your pop so proud, Emily. Let's hear it for Emi Erickson.
And I love their style, a really elegant, beautiful style that she's carried, and very similar to Roger, had a very beautiful style to his surfing.
Her dad was a famous big wave rider, and he's like, to be a haole guy on the North Shore of Oahu and not have people messing with you. He came back from Vietnam, he was Special Forces, and he's like, you know, 6'5" Viking warrior, and he doesn't take shit from anybody, so she has that bloodline and she has that, you know, warrior mentality.
Surfing was a way to deal with things. Thankfully, Dad was a surfer, so I took out one of his boards, and that's kind of how I got into the world. I can never decide if it's like a pathway that was laid for me or something I chose. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to, I think it was just inevitable, really.
I'm up at dark pretty much every day, so morning routine, food, coffee, check the surf, then get on with my day. The perfect swell and conditions for jaws, I mean, I'm still learning all of that, like with swell direction, like the wind, all that stuff. So I'd say light wind, and whatever day Paige got her barrel a couple years ago, like that's probably my ideal day.
My very first wave last year on that like rising giant swell, I caught a wave in the first heat, and I like had to straighten out. It was like this weird warble one, and I don't normally go on waves like that, but when you're in a contest, like you're like, okay, ride waves. Yeah. And I like paddled to ski in the channel. I was like, cool, first wave of the winter, like just getting licked.
Oh my god. I'm so hard on myself, and I get so frustrated for like feeling nervous and having that anxiety. I think Paige is probably the person who's just helped me out the most and has taken me under her wing. She's just such a great role model for this next generation, and she's just like one of the most selfless people I know too, and she'll tell you how it is, which is really good, because if you're like gonna make a stupid decision, she's not gonna let you do that, but if you do it, she's gonna give you shit for it, you know? Like, it's the beginning of the winter, like, and I haven't spent much time out at Jaws, so I guess it's normal, but yeah. I just wanna like, I don't
break
know.
through that.
I'm impatient with myself. So.
I mean, we all go through that. I mean,
I feel like I've done everything I possibly can physically to prepare and to get myself ready for that, but another goal of mine is just I want to get more mentally strong and just have more confidence, and that's something that I struggle with. I think I'm gonna die. Just gotta smile through the pain. My legs are like seizing right now. I'm just always just trying to stay positive and have fun with it and not get too serious.
This big wave surfing thing isn't something many women have gravitated towards in the past. And now there's a bit more attention, whatever. Maybe it's the vests, maybe it's the contests and the money and whatever. The reality of it is you can get really hurt. If you get hurt and you have no backup and you're just a normal working person like a lot of us, then what are you gonna do? Hey, oh, I think I see you. Are you just walking outside? Yeah, okay, I see you. Okay, perfect.
Okay. This is something that I've always wanted to do, is just start to capture like a moment in time on the North Shore that gives kind of the sense or a glimpse of why people come to the North Shore to experience it for all kinds of different reasons. And what Emi's doing and the other women who are out surfing big surf, creating this recognition for the sport, and also equalizing kind of the men and women kind of in the sport as well, I just think is really important.
This peahi thing and the conditions they're calling it on and are always survival conditions. I don't want to see anyone else getting hurt or having to go through what I went through, and I certainly don't want to do it again either. So, interested to see what will happen because it's looking like another windy, huge Jaws swell.
Emi doesn't really know. I think she's conflicted. She wants to do the contest to a degree, but then she really just loves surfing big waves to surf big waves. So I think she's conflicted in the competing side of big waves or just doing it for the love. I'd really like to see her figure that out and work out what's best for her, because I really believe she could be the best.
Why did you go to Jaws again? Why did you do this ridiculous thing?
Jaws is another animal.
You have to make these decisions in a very rational way, and you have to live and die by those decisions.
Take a second, breathe out.
Gotta get you to the contest, let's go.
I end up participating in the event, but my heart isn't necessarily really aligned with it. The conditions are terrible.
I've put so much blood, sweat, and tears into getting to where I'm at now, so I just have to go send it.
There's no overweight, it's 50 pounds.
It's why? It's a few extra pounds, just take it.
This is the CBDMD Jaws Big Wave Championship